Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Virtual Real Estate Channel. I'm back with another Upland video, and today I'm talking about prices in Upland, and if they're lower than they have been in the past, if that's a good or bad thing, and if they are lower, if that means opportunity, or if the game's slowing down, or if there's issues. But I'm also going to talk about some other places in Upland where prices are higher, which is kind of cool. So we love the likes, love the shares, love the comments. Keep those coming. Really close to 1,000 subscribers. I keep saying that, but I am really close to it. So be cool to get there pretty soon. I'll do some kind of giveaway once we get there. Maybe give away a property in Neponset or Henry Ford or something like that. And we'll definitely do some kind of contest there. And we still have our Lazy Node contest going as well. So hopefully you've stuck around, been able to enter that. If not, we have lots of those coming up soon, so be sure you subscribe to get notified on that as well. All right, so we're in Upland, a virtual real estate game. You can buy plots of land the same as the ones in real life, which I think is really cool. You can build on them, you can rent them, flip them, sell them, do all kinds of cool things. And Upland has city releases every, I'd say, 6 to 8 weeks usually in that time frame. And you can see all the cities here, and there's actually like 5 cities in that area. 3 or 4 cities in that area, and then some smaller cities that have popped up as well. And in the economics in Upland, when I first started, which was I think around October of 21, cities would be released. Most of them would sell out right away. Not all of them, but most of them would sell out right away. And when the cities were released, you'd see the prices of other Upland properties drop because people were selling their properties, trying to liquidate to get money for that city release. You can make a lot of money in those city releases. People want lots of money, or UPEX as it's called in Upland, to be able to go buy properties, mint properties, either keep them, sell them, flip them. And so you see property or prices drop when those city releases happened. Well, our last city release was Las Vegas, which was a while ago now. And actually, here, I'm just gonna go over to my virtual real estate channel. That was my real estate channel. I do have lots of flips and commercial properties and other stuff going on. And then I can actually just click on here. And when was the Las Vegas release here? Oh, June 14th. I was talking about how it did. The Upland Las Vegas release was about June 10th. So we're going on about a month ago. Seems longer than that, but about a month ago, they released Las Vegas. And so if we go back to Las Vegas, it is not minted out all the way, so there's still lots of properties left. And even though it's been a month, which is quite a while after a city release, you kind of think our prices would be creeping up higher. I'm not exactly seeing that across the board. In some areas we are, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But overall, prices still seem kind of low. So where I am, I'm upxland.me, again, upxland.me, and one way I judge prices is just by kind of looking at the floor of different cities and seeing how cheap they are. The floor in Los Angeles is around 7,000 UPX. It's been there for a long time. But San Francisco is a really good judge. I don't know if it's the first city or one of the first cities. And when I first started joining Upland, I feel like the floor was 50,000 in that range. Cities get released, it kind of drops down. We saw it kind of lower to 40,000. Then when some cities were released recently, we saw it drop down to 30,000. Like, wow, that's really cheap. A lot of times I'd buy properties at that point. And when we get to this point where we're in between city releases, prices usually jump up and I can sell them and flip properties. Right now, look at these prices in San Francisco. 26,200 is the floor right now for San Francisco, which is the lowest I've ever seen it. Now, I'm sure people in the game longer than me have seen it that low or much lower, since mint prices were, in the 2,000 to 3,000 range for these properties. But I haven't seen mint prices this low. And we're at a point where prices shouldn't really be that low because we have a new city coming up at some point, but it hasn't been announced yet. And there's a lot of them too. It's not like it's just one or two. If you look at this, there's a good, 20 some properties under 30,000. So I'd love to hear from the viewers of this too, and say, and some of the, if more of the experienced players are watching, love to hear from you as well. is this worrisome? Is this something to be concerned about? What's going on here? What's happening? So it's slightly worrying to me, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the world either, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But I also like to look at Manhattan, see what his prices are at. Manhattan is actually doing slightly better than last time I looked. There were a few properties under that 100,000 floor. Now there's just one. So Manhattan is doing decent, but again, when I first joined, I feel like prices, I can't remember for sure, I don't want to just say stuff, but way higher than 100,000, I know that. Almost like 130, 140 was the floor, maybe even higher. But you can see, it's definitely soft here too. And then we can look at places like Queens as well, which is one of the newer releases besides Las Vegas. 5,600, like that floor hasn't risen very much at all. And usually you'll see the floor slowly rise over time on some of these new cities as well. And let's see what Las Vegas looks like. Las Vegas is at 87, a little higher. I think they had just slightly higher prices and mint prices than Queens, and also much fewer properties. So you can see what's going on there. And something else we can see too is we can click on here and go to unlocked and mint price, and we can see what properties are available for mint. So if we search here, it should show us you can still mint properties for 8,000 in Las Vegas. So still fairly affordable. Let's see what Queens looks like. What? You can mint a property for $39.90? Hold on. I need to take off that. That's an FSA property. If you want to get started in the game and make some money, hey, that would be a good one, right? Here we go. That's better. $73.20 for Queens for minting. Let's go back to Vegas and check that out here. 13. That's better. 13.5 is the floor for unminted properties in Las Vegas. You definitely see that go up over time because people mint properties. And a lot of new players think the best way to always get properties is to mint them, even though sometimes you can buy properties below mint in many of these cities as well. I wonder what Detroit looks like right now. For unminted property, 6,900. And then Los Angeles. And see, when I first joined too, something that was interesting that does not happen now. The Bronx, or not the Bronx. Bronx. Berkeley. All of them sold out right away, right? There would not be any minted properties left the next day after the release, let alone months later. So in Detroit, you can still release mint stuff. So you can see there's still quite a bit available in all the different areas here. And is that something to worry about too? So maybe, maybe not. I think they've flooded the market with a lot of properties recently, and they keep releasing cities, so I don't think that issue's going to go away. But that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities and fun things you can do in Upland to still take advantage of the game and have fun. And some of the things that we've seen are nodes are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, right? More nodes are being started. The nodes that have been established are doing better and better. And what a node is basically a community. So Upland has collections where Upland decides, these neighborhoods will be worth more, they'll have more rent yield, and those often have higher values. But then players can come along too and say, hey, we're all going to buy in this area, we're going to make this our area, we're going to take control. And that's what we've done with this channel a little bit with what we call lazy nodes, which means you don't have to put much effort into it. It's pretty simple. And we have one in Neponset and one in Henry Ford in Detroit. This is in Queens. And we also have contests to go along with these lazy nodes too, where we help people build properties, and that's been a lot of fun as well. This is our current contest winner right here, and let's see how his property is doing. 4 days left. And one thing I just want to remind people, I don't know if this one is all the way sparked out. Maybe it is. I haven't checked yet. But I know we've got some people who normally contribute who haven't been. So just like to say, it makes it so much faster and so much more fun if everybody's contributing to those contests, especially the past winners. But still really cool. And then I've got a build going up here too that should be finished in a similar time as well, right here. And we're working on just kind of fun to see all of them building out. And thank you to the people who are helping me out as well. All right, so with the lazy nodes, we're kind of seeing the opposite happen with prices. They're not really dropping down. They've been increasing, which is really cool to see. And so that's one reason why we picked both these nodes, is they're small neighborhoods. There's not a whole lot of properties in them. And that, I think, makes, if we do get lots of people interested in them, the supply and demand side kind of takes over. And then we can see some pretty cool price increases. So when I first started the lazy node in Neponset, prices were, let's see here, I want to do just that. Although, no, we'll talk about that in a second. Prices were in the mid-20s. I hadn't bought any properties there yet, and prices have been rising significantly. And here's the dollar value of, this works. And you'll see these real cheap ones here, 35, 38, and you can sell properties in dollars or UPX. This guy's in jail. You can't even buy these properties. So unfortunately, these three right here are kind of holding the dollar floor down a little bit, and you can't even buy them. So maybe at some point, hopefully he comes out of jail or Upland kind of fixes that. But I don't think that's really helping the floor or the game either, when you have properties owned by people in jail who then you can't even buy them, they can't sell them, and people come on here and say, the floor is 35. That's where it is. But it's really not. It's really 41. And if that one sells, it's much, much higher. And then we get into the actual UPX floor, and we see it's at 56, 59, much, much higher than 35. It's like, I could make a lot of money if I buy this one and sell it, but you can't because he's in jail. So, but this floor has more than doubled since we started Neponset. Compared to the mint prices, it's doing very well. And it's not just, this value wasn't just created in the very beginning. It's been in the last 2 weeks where this floor has jumped from pretty much under 40,000 up to this 56 that we see now. And there really aren't that many properties for sale, especially 57, especially if you take out these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're below 50 for sale for UPX. So while the normal floor in Upland has been dropping, our floors in the nodes have been going up. And then another interesting thing, we'll look at Detroit here, is I almost wonder if the rise of the nodes has caused some of this other drop in floors in cities where there's more nodes, there's more communities being built up, and people are focusing on those, and they're not focusing on just the overall buy and sell aspect as much anymore. So the nodes could actually be hurting the floors of cities and different areas and collections because people are focusing on them. They're like, this is fun, this is great, I love doing this node thing, and I don't care as much about just regular cities, regular properties. So that's something that could be happening as well. But here we're looking at Henry Ford. We started at like the 6,000 to 8,000 UPX range when we started this node. Now the floor is at 40,000. That's crazy. So cool to see. And this has raised a bunch as well in the last couple weeks, where prices in Upland have been dropping or staying steady. We've been raising prices, and again, only 43 properties for sale here. That's been dropping as well. And I don't know if there's any 25. There's one for sale for 25. Is that really? Whoa. Let's see if that's really for sale. If it is, I'm probably going to buy it. I think I have some dollars in my account. And that's a pretty cheap property. So let's see what that's at right now. There it is. Not in jail. That's so cheap. Yes, I do. There. We just bought that one. That was pretty cheap. So, and then you can see there's some other ones here for sale as well, but really not that many. But our floors have been doing fantastic in both Neponset and Henry Ford. Really cool to see that. And some people said it was just me buying all these properties up and raising the floors. And actually, I've been not selling properties, but let's see how many I have here. 47. I had 46 before that. I bought maybe 1 or 2 properties in Henry Ford in the last couple of weeks. And in Neponset, I've actually, what do I have? 31. been selling, not selling, but trading properties too. So I've been trading properties to people, helping them get into the node. And there's a lot of trades going on that you don't show up on here as well, where we're seeing people jumping in, buying more properties, really helping out that market. So the nodes, and by the way, we have a Discord where we talk about all the nodes as well, as I just accidentally clicked on that, but we'll show a link below if you want to hop on there, have been a really cool place to hang out, buy properties, build properties, have contests, build friendships and communities together. And so I'm not too worried about the floors of other cities dropping or going down, because I think a number of things are causing them. One, they're releasing cities pretty quickly, which I wonder if that's a mistake, if there's just too many properties on the market. Two, people who are in jail in properties that can't be sold are kind of almost artificially dropping those floors in some cases and causing people to think, oh, the floor is really low there, when actually those properties can't even be bought or sold. And then three, the lazy nodes in these communities that are building up are bringing more interest to other parts of Upland, other cities, where people are spending their money there, spending their time there, and not worried so much about just buying properties at the floor in other cities. So I think there's still tons of opportunity in Upland, still tons of fun, and I don't know if we're seeing like a shift downward or more of just a shift from regular properties to specialized node properties. So love to hear what you guys think, and gals who are watching, and what your current strategies are, and what you think will happen in the future of Upland as well. If we'll see these floors kind of start to level out, or if over time things will start going up. When I joined, prices have been pretty steady or dropping since then. But I know before that, prices had risen significantly across the board. So you never know. And then there's also the whole, crypto drop across the board as well, right? Which has just decimated other, virtual real estate worlds like Mana and Sand have lost, 80 to 90% of some of their value in some cases. Maybe not that much, maybe like 80, and just dropped significantly. And so across the board, crypto has been really hammered lately. Maybe that has something to do with it as well, where people are just kind of taking their money out. They need that money for bills and different things because of the economy and other things. So there's a lot of things to factor into it. But overall, if you look at Upland compared to other virtual real estate worlds, it has done fantastic. It held its value pretty well compared to some of the other ones that have seen just major drops. All right, that's all I've got. Love to hear what you think. We'll have more contests coming up here soon as we get that other community build finished up. So make sure you stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe to get those notifications. And we'll have many more other videos as well talking about our strategies and different things going on in Upland. Make sure you check out the Discord if you haven't done that yet. Have lots of cool people on there who will help you out if you have any questions, or if you want to buy, sell, trade properties. Lots of opportunities there as well. Thanks a lot. I'll be back soon.